All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out some blue-purple Luffy. That's right, very much a meta deck at the time of me recording this. OP11 is when we get blue-purple Luffy, which is now completely official. It is released over here in the West. It is completely legal. This is a very strong leader, okay? So let's go ahead and hop straight into this, guys. We're going to go over the deck list first. Got a surprise for y'all today. Nothing crazy. I don't want to overhype it or anything, but, you know, we're going to be kind of flipping things around. We'll talk about it more as we get into the video. We'll check out the deck list first. After that, we're going to head over to the sim. We got 4 games lined up for the sim today. And then after that, we're going to check out the deck list one more time, and we'll finish things up from there. Okay? So, with that in mind, I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comments section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comments section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden, and their summer kickoff sale is live. They're offering 10 to 40% off site-wide across the entire store. For a limited time, get a free playmat tube with every Sun God playmat purchase while supplies last. Also, don't forget to use my code, TheVVTheory, at the checkout for an extra 5% off. Alright, so let's go ahead and break down this list for today. So the list we're going to be checking out first, let me bring it up in its entirety here with the leader and everything. I'll read the leader and then we'll go through the list. But this first list we're going to look at is kind of just, I think this was one of the last blue-purple Luffy lists to win a big event over in the East. This is not my creation. I got this from either OnePieceTopDecks.com or from GumGum.gg. That's going to be the first list we look at. And then after that, we're going to check out a list I'm kind of working on, something that's a little different. Okay, it's a little bit different. We'll talk about that as we get to it. So real quick, let's read what the leader does. 6,000 power, 3 life, blue-purple leader, Monkey D. Luffy, Straw Hat Crew. With, you may activate this effect at the start of your turn, and if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on the field, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card and add it to your hand. Then place the remaining cards at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. So the name of the game here with this leader is basically get to 8 Dawn as safely and quickly as possible. That's why you see a bunch of ramp we're about to talk about in here. Get to 8 Dawn as quickly and safely as possible, and then you start drawing 2 cards every single turn. Okay? And you start setting the top cards of your deck with the leader effect. It becomes very, very powerful, and I'll try to talk more about that in a minute. But that's the name of the game here. That's what we're trying to do. Is, again, ramp straight to 8 Dawn safely and as quickly as possible, and then go from there. Now, let's go and break down the deck list here. Again, this is not my creation. We're going to look at mine after this list. I just want to show you guys, notice it says first place. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the deck list that got first place against the blue-yellow Nami in the tournament that happened, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't remember the exact date on it. At the time of recording this, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where it was a very controversial, rather. It was a very controversial ending. It was blue-yellow Nami versus blue-purple Luffy in the finals. Well, this is that blue-purple list. So they're running 3 Sanjis. They're running 4 Nami, 4 Mr. 2, Bankai Bentham, 4 Zorojuro, 2 2K counter Franosuke, 2 of the 2K counter Sanji, 2 of the 2-cost Chopper, 4 Charlotte Linlin, 2 of the 9-cost Rush Luffy, 4 of the 8-cost Katakuri, the new blocker Katakuri from OP11, 4 of the 2K counter Usohachi, 1 Red Rock, 3 Gravity Blade Raging Tigers, 3 Thunder Bagua, 4 Gum Gum Giants, and 4 Gear 2. Okay, so this is a pretty standard list. There's a few things that are mixed up here and there that you might not see in every other list. Like, I don't think everyone's running the 2-cost Tony Chopper. I don't think it's necessary either, but that is one option you can run with. But everything else on here is pretty straightforward. In fact, I think if you were to try to make this list a little more, like, I don't know how to say it, like maybe a little more streamlined, where it's like more basic and generic to all the other blue-purple Luffy lists, I think you literally just take 2 of these blocker choppers out, and then you go plus 2 of the 2K counter Sanji. I think that's literally all you'd have to do, and then maybe minus 1 of the 9-cost Luffy to go plus 1 of the Sanji. And that's a pretty standard, pretty traditional list. One more thing I want to mention too while we're here is I have already done a video on blue-purple Luffy for when it first came out, and I will link that down in the comment section below for y'all to check out as well if you want to see a more standard list in play. Because in today's video, now, okay, I spent all that time kind of explaining the standard way you see Blue Purple Luffy being played right now, and it is very good. It is, you know, it's very well constructed. It's doing very good for itself, right? It's doing very well for itself. Now, I'm going to show you something a little more spicy, something a little spicier. Whoops, not this one. That's the one we just looked at. I'm going to show you guys the list we're going to be running in today's video, okay? That's right. Check this out, okay? Check this out. We got something interesting we're going to be trying out today. And again, if you want to see more traditional Blue Purple Luffy gameplay, I will link my original video that went over Blue Purple Luffy when it first came out, okay? When we first got access to it on the sim, at least. Okay, so again, same leader. Now check out the list. Excuse me. Running 4 of the Sanjis, the 9-cost Sanji. Running 3 of the Capone Gang Beige and 3 of the Trafalgar Law. Essentially, these do the same thing in this deck. They're just 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter searchers that can search for Straw Hat cards. It does a top 4 search for a Straw Hat card that costs 2 or more. So we cannot look up these events, which is unfortunate, but that's the whole purpose. We're running 6 1-cost searchers. That's the whole idea there. Okay, then we're running 3 Nami. Still a great card. 2 of the 8-cost Rush Luffy, 1 of the 6-cost Rush Luffy, 4 Zoro Juro, 4 of the 2k counter Sanji, excuse me, 4 of the Uso Hachi, 4 Sangoro, 4 Zoro Juro, and 4 Monkey D. Luffy, with 2 Gum Gum Red Rocks, 4 Gum Gum Giants, and 4 Gear 2. Now, I have this, let me say this real quick. I had this idea. Okay, people just started building Blue Purple Luffy, and they kind of just went straight for, okay, ramp Dawn, get to 8 Dawn, start setting up the top of your deck, and then start slamming down the big boys. Okay, that's not a bad, it's not a bad plan. Clearly, it's been working out very well. Excuse me. However, do you guys think we've actually found the best Blue Purple Luffy build yet? Because I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt we found the absolute best way to build this leader. And what I'm trying to experiment with in today's video, in today's games, is like, what if we just go for more of a board flood version? So that way we have the early stuff to play out like normal, like the 4-cost Zoro, the 5-cost Sangoro and Luffy combo and all that. We have all that stuff going for us. And what if we just try to just max out at the 9-cost Sanji and do a double flood from there, where it's like Sanji into Luffy into Sangoro or Zoro. You know, that's what we're experimenting with in today's video. And then we still have access to some other good stuff like the 6-cost Rush Luffy and the 8-cost Rush Luffy as well from OP11. Okay, so this is what we're going to be messing with most of the games in today's video. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about before we move forward here. Again, I kind of want to experiment with a more aggressive version of Blue Purple Luffy that just needs to make it to the late game in one piece, and then from there, they can stabilize, right? Or they just run their opponent over, which we will see in one of the games today. So that's it, guys. This is the main list we're going to be looking at today. Let's go ahead and let's just hop right into it, because I am going to talk about it more at the end of the video and tell you guys what I think about the list moving forward. So yeah, let's do this, guys. Let's see what the deck can do. Let's check it out, see it in action. All right, first game up, we got a game versus Shanks. The volume is off. Whoops, it tried to turn it off. There we go. Volume's off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. So like I said, first game is against Shanks. Now, let me say this. The first deck we're looking at here, this is a more traditional list. I don't think I have the list anymore because I think I got rid of it. But this is a more traditional Blue Purple Luffy list we're going to be seeing today, but not the one we saw in the deck build portion of the video where I was going over like how to, you know, the first place list we went over. So this is like my own take on one of the decks from a while back. Here we go. We're going against a Shanks here. We start off with the Boncaray, Bentham. We're ramping straight to 5 Dawn. And here we go. They're going to swing in for 8. We're probably just going to take this. We take it. We go down to 2. And now it's our turn. We're up to 7 Dawn. It would be nice if we could ramp one more time here. But unfortunately, we could not. I probably, like, looking back, guys, I think I should have played out the Zoro Juro and gone from there. So we attack in. They go ahead and get rid of it with the Gum Gum Red Rock. They get rid of the 4-cost Mr. 2 Boncaray Bentham. And I think I should have played out the Zoro Juro first. We're actually going to rewind right away, guys. I'm sorry. We do have to talk about this. So this was a less than optimal start here. Again, what is going on? It's messing up on me. So right here, we got out of their first attack for 8 by using the 1-cost here. And now, instead of Yeah, see, notice we do have we have a 3 cost Zoro in our hand. What we could have done this turn is swing for 7 with our leader at them. They'd have to use their leader effect and do a 2k counter, and then we could develop the Zoro, and then next turn we can actually start smashing in with the Zoro, and then play out the Bentham afterwards, and we'd go straight to 8 Dawn. So right away, guys, there was a play mistake. I want to make sure you guys saw that. So we swing in for 7. They use the leader effect there with the Otama, dropping us down, and here we go. So on this turn right here, notice what they do. They're going to leave 2 Dawn active and just swing in for 8, and we're just going to take it. Remember, what we could have done instead, is we would have only been at 4 Dawn right here, going to 6, but now watch what happens. If our Zoro Juro would have survived, that we would have played the turn before, we could have attached 1 Dawn to Zoro, swing in for 5. And in fact, we could have attached 2 Dawn to Zoro to play around the 2 Dawn that's up right here, to play around the Gum Gum Red Rock. We could have swung in for 6 here with the Zoro, and then played out the Bentham afterwards, right? Because we'd have been on 6 Dawn, attached 2, swing in, we go up to 7 Dawn, and then we would be able to swing for 8 with our Luffy, actually, because then we could have played out the Mr. 2 Bond Cray Bentham, and then swung for 8 with Luffy, and now we're at 8 Dawn to untap for our next turn to get our leader effect off right away. So I did at least want to show you guys that. We did have a slight play mistake there, but that's okay. We're going to swing for 7. They hit us with the Gum Gum Red Hawk there to pop our guy. Seems good. We drop down double Zoro Juro, but again, it doesn't matter because we already missed the window to get straight to 8 Dawn as fast as possible, which is a very big deal. Okay, they're going to go and play out the Beckman, get rid of our guy. We're on our 9 Dawn turn. We're going to easily go up to 9 here. It looks like, I think I might even just try to slam down. Okay, no. I was going to say, I think it would have been kind of an interesting idea to just try to do a blind rip with Sanji there and just go from there. But that's okay. We're going to be able to set it up next turn. We're going to swing for 8. We're going to swing for 10. Drop him down to 3 life. We're on 10 Dawn. We have 2 Dawn active. We can use the Gum Gum Giant here very comfortably and not even have to worry about it. Okay, 7 into 4. Let's see what we choose to do here. Looks like I'm going to do a Gum Gum Giant here, potentially. Yeah, I don't think that would have been the right play. They're going to play out a Yasop to go up to 7. Or excuse me, to go up to 6, rather. They're going to swing in for 6. Let's see what we do here. We're just going to give a 2k counter. They play out a Lucky Roo, and here we go. So now it's the beginning of our turn. Now we have to pick a card here. Pause. We have to pick a Straw Hat card here with our leader's effect to grab a Straw Hat card first, and then we're going to set the top 4 cards of our deck. So let's see if we choose to go. I think I'm going to choose the Nami or the Zoro here, so they don't know that I'm going to be able to draw into a Gum Gum Giant or whatever I choose to do for the turn here. Looks like I want to just draw the Zoro Juro because I already have 2 Gum Gum Giants, and we're actually just going to start smashing in, guys. Let's see what we choose to do. I'm not as big of a fan, like as huge of a fan anymore of the 8 cost Rush Luffy, but it did let us just bounce his guy back to his hand. We'll swing in for 7. So we swung in for 8. We swung in for 7. We still have Dawn left here. We're going to be able to use a Gum Gum Giant here to go down to 8 Dawn, to go back up to 10 for the turn and still do our leader effect. And we have 2 massive bodies on the board right now. And that's really what this deck does, right? This is really what Blue Purple Luffy does. Is it reaches a certain point where it stalls out the game and it just slows down. It stalls out and slows down the game, and then it starts dropping these massive characters that gain life, block her up, and you leave Dawn active for your Gum Gum Giant to get out of whatever attacks you need to. So they swing for 6. We're just going to counter out of that. They're going to swing for 7. I think we're going to go ahead and use the Gum Gum Giant here, not because we had a 2K with the Gion, but we're trying to just cycle through things. Very nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a Sanji turn. We got another Sanji. We're going to draw it for the turn. Now we're going to push the Gear 2 to the front, keep Lin Lin as the second card, and then everything else after that probably doesn't matter as much. Looks like we're going to go ahead and put the Gear 2 into our life. We're going to play out the Lin Lin here, pushing this card. So notice what we did there. We set the card after Lin Lin that we wanted to put into our life, and it was a Gear 2. So that way, even though we're at 9 Dawn right now, we can choose to take this next hit and drop down, and then use the 1 Dawn instead of on a Gum Gum Giant. We can use it on a Gear 2. Okay, but we could have just drawn the Gear 2 as well. I don't know what the logic is there. Here we go. So we're going to push the Yasop back to their life. Again, we just want to slow them down. That's all we're trying to do, is slow them down. We swing in for 6. We swing in for 7. Looks like they might take both of these. They only had 3 cards in hand. Now they go up to 5 cards from taking them. 6 for the turn. And here we go. We're on 2 life. We have a Dawn is active. We know the top card of our life is a Gear 2. So we're not really at jeopardy of losing this turn. But our opponent can start setting up for, the next few turns to try to pull something off here. But now I have 3 9Ks on the board. Yep, as it turns out, we have 3 9Ks on the board. And this is why I think this deck does so well. Okay, again, we're just waiting for our opponent, guys. It's in 2x speed, and I have not paused it, at all for their turn. We are just waiting for them to make up their mind to see how they're going to be able to go about this game. They're probably seriously considering swinging all out here. Okay, doing a quick 7K check. Yeah, we're just going to give them a 2K. They're going to swing in for 6. Honestly, we could probably just take this, and then, but then they could go all in on the Rayleigh to try to knock us down. So I think we should give him a 2K here, and now we can just take this hit from the Silver's Rayleigh. No matter where he goes. Even if he goes at my Sanji, yeah. I'll say I had a feeling he was going to go for Sanji. I don't think we really care about that card that much. And now he plays out a Forodon, probably another Lucky Roo. Okay, because remember, we did bounce one Lucky Roo back to hand. Or maybe he keeps Forodon active. Okay, yeah, he left Forodon as active for his, probably for a double event. The double 2-cost Red Hawk. So here we go. We go ahead and get another Sanji to our hand. We draw the Gear 2 for the turn. Okay, time to just start massacring the board here. We'll swing for 6 first, see what he wants to do. Because if he takes it, we might swing everything at face. Okay, we swing in for 9. I think we should have gone for the board here, but maybe not because he has the Forodon as active. Okay, this is going to force a 2-card response from his hand here. Yep. Now we're going to swing for 9 more. This time we're going to go into the Ben Beckman. Why? We are playing around any type of Goldie Roger shenanigans, right? We're playing around Goldie Roger shenanigans. So we swing in for 9. They do protect it with the Gum Gum Red Hawk. We thought they had that. We have 1 Dawn is active now, guys. We have 2 life. We are in a commanding position in this game. As it turns out, pause. Okay, as it turns out, when you get to draw 2 cards every single turn and play 2 9 costs every single turn, and be a 6,000 power leader while sitting on a Gum Gum Giant, as it turns out, that is a pretty good turn. Especially when you combo it with like a 9-cost Lin, where it's like, okay, think about it. You draw 2 cards for the turn. You play out 2 9-cost 9Ks for the turn. You get to gain a life and bounce a card off their board. And then you get to sit on an event while being a 6,000 power leader. It's a pretty good spot to be in, guys. The deck's pretty good, let me tell you right now. Okay, here we go. Just saying. I'm not going to say it's busted or anything like that. I'm just saying it's pretty good. Just saying it's a pretty good deck. Blue-purple Luffy. And I see why people are running it this way. Like I said, we're going to be messing around with something more experimental after this game. I'm just saying I get it. I'm just saying that I get it, why people are running this. So we are going to go ahead and use the Red Rock here, or excuse me, the Gum Gum Giant here, just to cycle cards. That was like their biggest attack. We still have a blocker, 2 life. We cycled out cards with the Gum Gum Giant. We have another Gum Gum Giant for next turn. They're going to swing for 7. Okay, here's a blocker. And now if they want to establish a 10-cost character, okay, they don't. They actually want to get pretty aggressive here. And I think yeah, we're going to have to take this. This makes it super close here, guys. They play out a Lucky Roo, and now they can't swing for the turn. All right, and now it's our turn, and we're going to go and sort things out from here. Looks like we're going to have to leave quite a bit of Dawn active this turn. I actually think we should grab the Namuel. Excuse me, we can't grab Namuel, but we can set that to the top of our deck, and I hope we do that because it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense to do that. We're actually just going to grab the Gion 2K counter for the turn. I guess that's fine as well. And now we're just going to slam down this Gum Gum Giant, or this, excuse me, this Luffy here. We'll trash a Red Rock from our hand, bouncing back the Lucky Roo. We're swinging in for 8. It's going to be swing 7, 9, 9, 9, 9. Yeah, that's going to be game. Yeah. So the first 7 was actually probably going to be... Well, no. The first 7 could have been met with a leader effect and then use the 1K in hand. But then after that, guys, it ends up being 9 4 times. And actually, I could just go 8. Just go 8, 9, 9, 9. And then there you go. Good game to my opponent. That was a rough one for them. But yeah, that's what this deck does. That's like the standard version. I am running the Gions as one of my 2K counters. There was something I was messing with. But hey, Blue-purple Luffy is in a very strong spot. This is the standard list we just saw in action here. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Now, the next 3 games we go over is going to be running the list I showed off in the that I featured as the alternate way that I've been building Blue-purple Luffy. Now, pause. I'm already getting started on this. Listen to these games here, guys. We got a game against Red Yellow Bello Betty, and then Blue Yellow Ace, and then Green Yellow Law. So they're interesting off-meta matchups, but let's not forget. Let me put this into context. Red Yellow Bello Betty is a serious problem for Blue-purple Luffy right now. It's considered a hard counter to it, right? So this other version, though, because it plays so much lower to the ground, maybe it has a better chance against it. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, now, let me make sure the volume is off. Speed is on 2x. Let me rewind it, and here we go. Got a game versus Bello Betty. Okay. Let's see if Blue-Purple Luffy can do this, guys. Let's see if this version of Blue-Purple Luffy can get around it. So it looks like they go first. We're going to be going second. In fact, I'm pretty sure I won the dice roll, and I chose to take second away from Bello Betty, because typically they do want to go second to draw as many cards as possible and get to that even number, you know, that 4 Dawn turn as quickly as possible as well. So we're going to play out the 1-cost Law here. We snatch a Nami out of that, and then we have to pass the turn. We don't have anything else we can do. They are going to load up 3, smash in for 8. We're just going to take it. There was definitely some logic to counter out of that, but that's okay. We're going to swing for 6, and then we're just going to develop probably a Zoro here. Yeah, the Zoro, they're both Zoro Juro, I think, but we developed the one that can ramp us Dawn, because we do still want to get to 8 Dawn as quickly as possible, guys. That is still part of the game plan for the most part, but not as seriously in this deck. Okay, they get an Ivankov, and let's see what they choose to do with this. Ivankov, man, that card is brutal in Bello Betty, the way it can fill out the board the way it does. Whew, you got to be careful with that one. You got to be careful with that. And they're going to go ahead and use the leader effect right away, trashing an Inazuma. Looks like they're going to play down a Lindbergh for the turn. They're going to attach a Dawn, swing for 6. We need to get out of this. I'm going to give them a 1K counter here, because I don't think I'm playing out the blocker next turn, guys. I think I'm actually going to play out this Zoro and search for some more counter power. Okay, so here we go. We're smashing in, swinging for 5. We got 6 Dawn to mess with for the turn still. Okay, let's see if they got any trigger effect. No effect. We're going to play out the Zoro here. We do get a 1-cost event. Seems good. And now we're going to swing in for 7. We've knocked it. It looks like we're going to be able to knock them down to 1. And here we go. So notice what I've done here, guys. I'm basically saying, hey, you're going to have to beat me this turn, because I think I'm going to beat you next turn. That's where we're at right now, guys. We're at a situation here where it's like, you're going to have to try to beat me this turn, or I'm going to try to beat you next turn. Right, that's really the whole thing going on here. And they did get a Morley trigger out of life. Seems good. That is unfortunate, but hey, you know, it is what it is. It happens, right? It happens, guys. Here we go. Let's see what they end up doing here. They do have a full board. Okay, they do not have Karasu, so that is, you know, a little bit of an upside for us. No Karasu. Well, not that one. I was talking about the 4-cost one, of course. They play out the 3-cost blocker. That's fine. It is, you know, that's completely fine. They smash into my Zoro. You can have that. That thing worked as a 1K counter here. We'll take it. They're going to swing in for 8. We're going to take that one. Let's see what they choose to do next. They're going to smash in for 10. And right here, I'd really like to get them to fully commit. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this hit here. Yep, we're going to take this hit. They KO'd my Trafalgar Law. That's fine. And now they're going to go all in here for 13. We are going to use our effect to +3, +2, +2, +1. And here we go. Excuse me. And we are going to be on a 7 Dawn turn. We're not even getting to use our leader effect yet. Okay, well, we're just going to rest that down, and hey, I'm saying you either got 9K or you don't. An 8K and a 10K might have been a slightly more optimal way to get through this, but watch this, guys. I'm saying you got it or you don't. Swing 9, swing 9. It's a close one. That was a close one, because, guys, if we didn't survive that, we were not surviving the crackback. I can tell you that much right now. Good game to my opponent there. We kind of snuck that one on them. They got greedy and took those hits, and it almost paid off. They got a Morley from that, guys, because let's call it what it is. If they had not gotten the Morley from that trigger, we could have done things very, very differently, right? We could have just gone into the board this turn, try to stabilize, and go from there. We did not even hit our 8 Dawn turn, guys. That's how fast this game was. So anyway, good game to our opponent, but having these extra attackers on the board, and we still have the Uso Hachi, you know, to go from there and do all that good stuff. Yeah, excuse me, we had just gotten to our 9 Dawn turn, because remember, guys, we attacked in once with our Zoro Juro. We were on... This should have been our turn where we went to 8 Dawn, but we got 1 attack in with Zoro Juro. That pushed us up to 7. We went from 6 Dawn to a 7 Dawn turn, and then and for the turn we untapped and went to 9 Dawn. So good game to our opponent there. And this is one of the reasons, by the way, I think it won't be the worst idea in the world to make a slightly more aggressive version of Blue-Purple Luffy. That could be really good for us. Okay, so that was the first game against Red-Yellow Bello Betty. Next up, we have a game versus Blue-Yellow Ace. Okay, guys, lock in, you know, grab your beverage of choice. We got a 20-minute game here. Don't worry, volume's off, speed's on 2x. Here we go. Blue-Yellow Ace can stall games just like we can. But as we go later into the game, it actually does go in our favor. And I don't even have life gain in this version of the deck, but just the fact that we get to draw 2 cards per turn and do a top 5 search for what we're looking for, Yeah, it turns out that's very, very strong, right? So here we go. We play out turn 1 Trafalgar Law. They go turn 1 Port Gosti Ace. We go turn 2 Zoro Juro. They're going to go ahead and use their leader effect right away to put a 5-cost, 6,000 power 2K counter ace from the ST22 starter deck. They put that on the board. They're a 9K leader. We're just going to take it. They use Zeus to KO our Zoro to slow us down. Not a bad play. Let me tell you right now, not a bad play. We're going to swing in for 8 here. We're going to play out another Zoro. Hopefully this one will stick, right? We swing in for 8. They 2K counter out because they're a 7,000 power leader. Okay? So here we go. They play out an Ezo. They do some searching. They play out another Ezo. They do more searching. I think they grabbed 2 5-cost ace with that. I think it was a 5-cost the EB02 ace, and then they also grab the blocker ace as well. They swing for 7. We give them a 2K. They swing for 8. I think we're just going to take this. Yep, seems good. Okay, we're at 7 Dawn. We really need to ramp this turn. It is of utmost importance. We can't even play out the Luffy right now because I don't want to go under 8 Dawn. I want to be at 8 Dawn so we get our leader effect next turn. Okay, we swing for 5. They end up using both Ezos here to fix their hand a little bit. And now they still have to give us something to answer this. They'll probably give us a 1K counter. Okay, I think they countered out with a 1K counter Ezo. We're going to play out the Nami. We're going to block her up a little bit here. And we're going to put those 2 cards, the Zoro and the Sanji, at the bottom of our deck. We're going to search even deeper here. We're going to swing in for 6. We have a blocker. We have counter power. We have a Gum Gum Giant if we absolutely have to use it, which we don't want to use it. We do not want to use Gum Gum Giant this turn, guys. We want to save the Gum Gum Giant for later, so that way we can get to our 8 Dawn turn here, or get to a 10 Dawn turn and use our leader effect on this turn. They're going to play out the 5-cost ace. They found another 2-cost ace. Guys, I think that's 3 2-cost ace we've already seen. I think that's 3 of the 2-cost ace that we've already seen. Okay, let's see what happens here. It looks like they're going to slow down a bit here and block her up because they can't really smash all in here, right? Because, okay, swing for 6. Well, we got 1K counters for that. I think they're going to swing for 10 here. Do I want to give them the blocker? So I think the answer is yes. I'd rather sit on the 1 life cushion here and give them the blocker and sit on a 10 Dawn turn. So right here, it looks like we're going to probably grab one of these Luffys here. Okay, probably that 8-cost Luffy there. A Sanji would be great in this position where we could set up a double play here, but that's, yeah, we didn't get to that. So here we go. We go and move some things around. It looks like we did not go for the 8-cost Luffy, guys. I might have sent all those cards to the bottom afterwards, too. Yeah, I think I actually sent those cards to the bottom because I need to get to an ace. Or, excuse me, not an ace. I need to get to a 9-cost Sanji. So we're going to go 8 into 6 here. He does only have 5 cards in hand. This will take 2 cards from hand, or he can just let it go. He lets it go. And now we're sitting on 3 Dawn active. We made it to our turn here. And now we're actually in a pretty good spot. We've got a blocker. We have a life. We have 3 Dawn is active. Let's see what they want to do here. And that's what this deck does, guys. It stalls. Because think about how much counter power I have in my hand right now, guys. I have 5K counter. Excuse me. I have 7K counter in just counter power. And then I have 4, 8, 11K in events. And I have the blocker and the 1 life. Like, there's no way I'm losing this turn, right? It's basically impossible. They go ahead and drop down the 10-cost Newgate. A lot of people are experimenting with this in Blue-Yellow Ace. I personally don't think it's the right call. That's fine with me, though, if they want to play it. I'm not going to be too upset about it. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Luffy Taro here, and I think we're going to set up the top of our deck like this, have the Zoro on top. We draw that for the turn, and now I think what we're going to do here is we're going to swing in for 7. We have to keep getting cards out of their hand, cards off the board, or cards out of their life. We have to put the pressure on. Now we're just going to hit him with a Red Rock, say goodbye to Edward Newgate, their turn, and here we go. We're still sitting on the 3 Dawn, we're sitting on the blocker, we're sitting on the life, and now we are that much closer around to getting our excuse me, to getting our 9-cost Sanjis off the top of our deck. Okay, they're going to play out the 5-cost Luffy, get rid of my Zoro Juro. I don't think that card's very important, but they were able to cycle out a card with their Luffy from their hand for 5 Dawn. Okay, I think that's the 3rd or 4th ace there, guys. Let me see. At some point, I do click on their trash to see how many they've gone through. They've gone through so many. They're going to come in for 10 here. They're going to attack for 10. We're going to use the Gum Gum Giant. We're going to trash something from hand here. Looks like the 7-cost Luffy ends up being the call. And then we 1K counter out of that. And here we go. Finally, there's our 9-cost Sanji. 9-cost Sanji is a big deal for how this deck functions, I will say. Even in this version I'm running, notice I'm not running the 9-cost Lenlin. I'm not running the 8-cost Katakuri. I'm running specifically a Straw Hat version of the deck, and now we get to do things with that. Now, I do have to set up for next turn still. We're not just going to get to slam it down just yet, because the last turn we had to do things a little bit differently. We're just going to set up for next turn. We have tons of counter power still. I left a lot of Dawn as active. I'm kind of bluffing something I don't really have right now. But again, we have to just kind of set up for next turn now. I didn't see what I wanted to there to play out with the 9-cost Sanji. Okay, here we go. So we're on turn 7 now, guys. We're on turn 7. I'm still at 1 life. They're at 3 life now. Let's see if they do something with this. Let's see if they get the 4th. So that had to have been the 3rd 2-cost ace we've seen so far. Let's see if they have another one. Okay, swinging for 6s. This is the right call, theoretically, but I just don't think it matters against what I'm trying to do as Blue Purple Luffy, because I'm going to draw 2 cards every turn, right? So 2 attacks are just ignored immediately. Okay, they're going to swing in for 6 more. Just got a 1K counter out. I've got counter for days, guys. Like I said, I've got counter on counter on counter. And now they're going to swing in for 8. I think we're just going to cash in on probably the Gear 2 right here. I think I want to cash in on the Gear 2 and try to set these next cards up for my turn. Very nice. Okay, so now we can finally use a turn. We can finally do a turn with our 7-cost Luffy here with the 9-cost Sanji. So we're going to draw a red rock for the turn. I think we should have grabbed the 1K counter Zoro Juro. That's fine. We'll go 2 into 2 here. This guy's board is gone. Right, we're going everything into the board, or he's going to have to start giving me cards from hand. Okay, 6 into 6. Here we go. Just waiting for our opponent here, guys. That's all we're waiting on. We swing 6 into 6. They're probably going to 2K to save this one and then maybe let the next one go. If I had to guess, that's the way that I would probably do it to make sure that I can save at least one of them. Okay, he blocks it. Saves both of them. Okay, very nice. So he's down to 3 cards in hand, guys. We are not upset about that. We're going to play out the Luffy. We're going to Dawn -1. We're going to play out this Zoro, and we're going to search up some more cards here. And that's why I should have done the order slightly different there, I think, instead of drawing the red rock for the turn. But we did see that they're running a 10-cost Newgate, so it is good to prepare for that. And guys, how the tables have turned, guys. How the tables have turned. Check this out, guys. Our board is massive now. We just went from a turn from having a 6-cost, a 5-cost 6K blocker and a 4-cost 6K character to having a 9-cost, 7-cost, 4-cost in one turn while attacking their hand, board, everything. And if I'm not mistaken, they're actually up. They're up against the ropes here, and I think they're going to be tapping out pretty soon here. They play out a Luffy with a 2-cost Luffy from life. They search up with their leader. They pop one of my Zoros. They draw a card. They are a 7,000 power leader this turn, but hey, do you want to keep attacking in? And at this point, guys, I might start bribing, kind of like not bribing. I might start saying, like, yeah, go ahead and attack in with everything. I dare you. I dare you, right? So here we go. I have the blocker still. I have the Gum Gum Giant. I have 2 2Ks in hand and now a 1K. I'm kind of like saying, like, yeah, attack all in. You got this, dude. You got this. But the truth of the matter is, he could not be further away from having this, right? It could not be further away. He's going to load up. He's going to swing 12. Well, in that case, I don't even have to go down and Dawn here. I'm just going to use the blocker, and now I get my beginning of turn effect. And this is where things get completely out of control. They get completely crazy for Luffy. So I'm going to go ahead. It looks like I'm going to try to be a little more conservative on this one here, pushing the Gum Gum Giant to the front to draw for the turn. I should have just done another Gum Gum Giant turn there, guys, but I don't want to throw the game at this point in case I can't close it out, because like I said, guys, look at how much life I have. Look at how much life I have, and I'm going to be able to play out the Nami this turn, sitting on triple Gum Gum Giant with double 2K in hand. Okay, we swing for 7. Then we're going to swing for probably 9 and 9. They have the blocker, and we're just going to block her up and say, all right, next turn. That's what this deck can do, guys. That's what Blue Purple Luffy can do. When you know what you're doing, you can just go, okay, I'm just going to go next turn now. Okay, they give me a 2K, 1K. They do save their board. We play out a Nami. We're going to probably put those 2 cards right back on the bottom or on the top. I can't remember. I think I put them back on top for next turn to go for another big play. But do I even need it anymore, guys? Like, that's the thing. In this kind of version of the deck, do I really need a second Sanji when the first one just goes, okay, 9, 7, 4, and it's a 9K, 8K, 6K? I don't know. Maybe. I guess it depends. They're going to swing in for 10 here. We're going to 2K, 2K, 1K to get out of this one. We still have the blocker. We still have 3 dots. Like I said, this is a bad place to be in. We're going to go ahead, and I think we're going to go ahead. I think we should have blockered there. We're going to Dawn my... Okay, yeah, they just go ahead and concede. Next turn, they were not surviving. They can't play out anything from their turn. They only have 3 Dawn for the turn. This was like a last-ditch effort, like a total last-ditch effort, just all in. Let's see if we can close it out. Good game to my opponent, but we were able to, basically lock them down there, shut them down at the end, just by using our leader effect and just drawing 2 cards every turn and sitting on some of the most powerful defensive, events we've ever seen. Okay, next game, we got a game versus Green, Yellow, Law. This is the last one here. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. Excuse me. Now, this is another pretty rough deck for Blue Purple Luffy to deal with. Any deck that can like go super wide on the board and get multiple attacks off every turn, it's a pretty tough spot to be in. But this guy that we're about to play against, I'll explain it as we get to it, but they try to rush a little too much. They try to rush a little. Okay, so we're going to play out the Zoro here, right on curve after swinging 6. They go Caramel into Bonnie. They're going to use the leader effect, play out, pull back the Caramel, playing out the Trafalgar Law. Not going to use the effect to play out the Bonnie again. I wouldn't have either. I mean, maybe I would have. Maybe I'd have pulled back the Bonnie just to play out the Caramel again to draw an extra card and go from there, and then next turn I can set up another Jory Bonnie. So if I was the Law player here, I actually would have done things slightly different. We're going to swing for 6 into 5 here, and then another 6 into 5, and we're just going to slam down a Zoro, guys. We're going to swing for 6 here. We could have actually tried to go for like a, okay, they just counter out in a very weird way. They should have just blocked with the Law and then 1K countered out, but hey, it is what it is. And now we're going to play out the Zoro and go from here. What we could have done is we could have actually established a Nami last turn, and that would not have been bad. Let me say that. That would not have been too bad. Okay. Does he want to let that Zoro stick on the board? Because I will go up to 8 Dawn next turn no matter what. I won't be able to use my leader effect, but I'm going to be on 8 Dawn no matter what next turn. So maybe there is some logic in not attacking into the Zoro, but if they don't attack into my Zoro, I'm not exactly complaining, right? Because now I have another attack on the board, and I can go from there. I'm going to force more responses from my opponent's hand. Yeah, very wisely, he does get rid of the Zoro, because I was going to abuse it if he had not. Okay, now watch this. He did things in slightly different order so that he could do this big, massive play here to get the Capone Beige on the board. Oh, what's this? I have a trigger. Gum Gum Red Rock. Bye-bye to the Beige. If you don't remove the Beige as fast as you can, guys, you can't get rid of all these other characters. That new 2-cost Beige is massive for what we're trying to do. Okay, so they only have 5 cards in hand. Always keep your opponent's hand in consideration here. Do I actually want to go for life and let them ignore my attacks and get more cards in hand? The answer might be yes, by the way. It might be, but I don't think we can. Now, unfortunately, for those who might have been thinking, like, hey, why didn't you play out the 7-cost Luffy into the Nami? Luffy can only play out a 5-cost or lower purple Straw Hat character, unfortunately. So we're going to go 6 into 6 here. Let's see if they give us a counter. Now we're going to go 8 into 6. This will probably be the blocker. Yep, they let the blocker go there. We're sitting on 1 Dawn. We don't have a Gum Gum Giant. Oh, they play out Hody Jones, and I guess they're just going to go for a, surprise lethal here. Yep, we're going to go ahead and 1K counter out of the 6. We're going to go ahead and 1K counter out of that 6. Now they're going to go in for 8 here. We're just going to take it, and I'm going to try to bait him into attacking in with his guy, but I could get out of it. I had double 2K counter in hand, so we go ahead and get out of that, and that's game. They're going to go ahead and tap out. Remember what I was saying? They got a little bit greedy. They got a little bit rushed. They kind of rushed in there at the end. It's like, well, and they literally rushed right with Hody Jones, but it's like, hey, you're not really in jeopardy of losing the game next turn, are you? In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. Like you have a Trafalgar. Remember, they had 1 life. They played out the Hody Jones and took their last life card. They have a blocker. They have a Cavendish. They have 1 life before they played out the Hody Jones, and you have a Trafalgar Law in your hand. So why not play out the Trafalgar Law, unless they got it from life? If they got it from life, that's a little bit different. But play out the Trafalgar Law from your, from your hand here. And then you can put the Bonnie into life here, pulling back the Luffy Searcher to play out the Bonnie, locking down one of my characters here to just to survive an extra turn, right? Just to try to survive an extra turn and go about things that way and get this massive board and then go for an OTK win with Hody Jones after that, where you have more attacks, my life's lower, and things like that. But I do understand we were about to be on an 8 Dawn turn. They were scared, like, okay, well, if he untaps, he's going to start cycling through the deck too quickly and start establishing these big bodies. But hey, that's what Blue Purple Luffy does. But Green Yellow Law can combat that pretty well, dropping down some massive 7-cost characters and going about things that way. Either way, good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. All right, so that's it, guys. I only had 3, well, we had 4 games altogether, but I only had 3 games of this new version of the deck to show off today. I think there's some potential here. It's not fully worked out, and I'm not saying this is better than the current Blue Purple Luffy version, but I'm just trying to get people to think outside the box, and who knows what might happen when we get access to the new purple starter deck cards on the sim. We do have access to them now in the West, like in the physical copies. But wait till we get them on the sim, then I might be able to mess around with some other things. Who knows? We'll have to try things out, because I would like to mess around with the new 6-cost Luffy. I think there could be something there, and I know people are saying, like, yeah, but he doesn't do plus 2,000 power. He just sets your leader's power to 2,000, to 6,000, to 7,000. Okay, I'm trying. Sorry, guys, bear with me. He can set your leader's power to 7,000. Okay, well, that's still better than 6,000, and now we have this massive body on the board we can do stuff with, and we can cheat it out with the Sanji on our 10 Dawn turns and go from there. I'm just saying there's an option. There are some options there, because if you can do that, then all of a sudden your Gear 2s are getting you to 10,000, you're getting out of 9k attacks very easily. Okay, well, that's about it, guys. I think that's all I got for you today. Like I said, this is a list I'm just working on. You know, I'm not saying that it's better than the current version of the deck, but I will say this. I do think this version might be a little better into certain matchups than the other version of the deck. I think for the decks that do try to swing super wide and go super aggressively against Blue-Purple Luffy, yeah, I think this is actually a pretty decent deck against those. I think this version of the deck probably has a better matchup into something like Red-Yellow Bella Betty or like Green-Yellow Trafalgar Law or decks like that that go super wide and aggressive. And again, this is just the first version of the deck. It has plenty of room for improvement. For example, maybe we don't... I don't know. The Red Rock was pretty nice in that Blue-Yellow Ace game. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, and it's a searchable Straw Hat card in this deck, so we will keep that. But maybe we don't need the 6-cost Luffy here. You know, maybe we need more of the 8-cost Luffy. Maybe we need some of the new cards from the starter decks. Who knows? We'll have to see. We'll have to figure things out. But yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. That's it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Just please be nice. Like I said, this is still a work in progress. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about it. Overall, I did like the feel that it had, but I do think we can do some slight adjustments here and there. Okay, I'm sure I'll update this in the future. Don't worry, guys. I'm sure I'll update this in the future. We'll mess around with it more, especially once OP12 and the new starter decks get updated on the sim. All right, let's get the outro page on here. We're done. Thank you guys for making it this far if you did. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, guys. Guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're supporting me through donations on Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, part of the Discord community, whatever you're doing to help me out and help out the channel, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Could not be any more grateful. This community has been absolutely amazing. All right, I'm done. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, guys. Peace.